There are stories that should never be told. Mysteries buried in time. Secrets whispered in the dark. Shadows that move when no one is watching. Some say the unknown is better left untouched, but here, we bring it to light. Welcome to the Unspoken Files, where we uncover the most terrifying and unexplained horrors in history. But be warned, some things are meant to stay forgotten. Some things are watching back. Subscribe if you dare.
Sometimes, the scariest things are the ones you can't explain. Imagine booking a weekend getaway to a beautiful, traditional Japanese inn deep in the countryside. Peaceful, right? That's exactly what one travel blogger thought, until something in the darkness started watching him. What he captured that night will haunt him forever. This is the terrifying true story of the shadow in the Japanese inn. Stay with me until the end, but be warned. Some things should never be disturbed. It all started as a simple travel blog project. Kenji Nakamura, a blogger from Osaka, Japan, decided to spend a weekend at Kage no Yado, a centuries-old and located deep in the mountains. The inn was famous for its stunning architecture, peaceful surroundings, and unsettling reputation. Upon arrival, everything seemed perfect. The sliding shoji doors, the smell of fresh tatami mats, and the soft flickering of lanterns created a dreamlike atmosphere. But as Kenji checked in, the elderly innkeeper gave him an odd warning. Keep the room dark at night. The shadow prefers darkness. Kenji chuckled, assuming it was just a creepy local legend meant to thrill visitors. He had no idea that by the end of the night, he'd wish he had taken that warning seriously. That evening, Kenji explored the grounds. He found an old wooden bridge leading to a secluded garden, but as he crossed, the air suddenly grew thick and cold. A faint whisper brushed past his ear, though he saw no one around. His instincts told him to leave, but curiosity pushed him forward. Inside the garden, he discovered a forgotten shrine covered in moss. The wooden plaques around it bore faded, unreadable prayers. A deep unease settled in his chest as he took a step closer. Before he could inspect further, a sudden gust of wind rattled the trees, and a low, guttural voice whispered behind him. Kenji spun around. Nothing. Only silence. He quickly made his way back to the inn. The first night was quiet. Kenji slept soundly, lulled by the distant sound of crickets and rustling leaves. But on the second night, things changed. While brushing his teeth before bed, Kenji heard a faint scratching noise near his futon. It was subtle at first, like nails lightly dragging across wood. Thinking it was a small animal, he pulled back the covers, but there was nothing there. He shook it off as paranoia and settled in for the night. But around 2 a.m., a loud creaking sound woke him up. The room was dim, lit only by the pale moonlight filtering through the paper windows. And that's when he saw it. Across the room, in the farthest corner, a shadowy figure stood completely still. It was tall and featureless, its body darker than the shadows around it. It didn't move, didn't breathe, but the air felt heavy, suffocating. Kenji's pulse raced as he sat frozen, unable to look away. Then, in the blink of an eye, the shadow was closer. He didn't see it move, but somehow it had. Desperate to prove he wasn't imagining things, he grabbed his phone and tried to take a picture, but his camera wouldn't focus. A deep chill ran through his body as he realized that every time he aimed the lens at the figure, his phone screen glitched violently. Kenji's body finally reacted. He lunged for the light switch, but before his fingers touched it, the shadow disappeared. The moment the lights flickered on, the room was empty. Was it sleep paralysis? A trick of the mind? He wasn't sure, but as dawn approached, he made a decision. He needed to know if he was imagining things. That evening, Kenji spoke with another guest at the inn, a local historian. She told him a chilling story. Years ago, a woman staying in his exact room had vanished without a trace. The only thing left behind was a single dark stain on the tatami mat. Some claimed it was water damage, but others believed it was something else. So, On the final night, Kenji set up his phone to record while he slept. He left a small light on, hoping to capture proof of the shadow. Exhaustion finally took over, and he drifted into a restless sleep. The next morning, Kenji checked the footage with shaking hands. The first few hours were uneventful, just him tossing and turning. But then, at exactly 3:07 a.m., the screen flickered, and there it was. A shadow slowly formed near the door. At first, it was faint, barely noticeable. But as the minutes passed, it grew darker, more defined. And then it moved. The figure drifted toward the futon, standing directly over Kenji as he slept. Then, the screen went black. When Kenji woke up, he wasn't in bed anymore. He was lying in the farthest corner of the room. His futon had been dragged several feet, and his phone was on the floor, battery drained. Panicked, he packed his things and left immediately, ignoring the innkeeper's gaze as he passed the front desk. But just as he stepped outside, the innkeeper softly muttered, "It saw you." Kenji never wrote about what happened that night. He never published the footage. In fact, he deleted it. Because even now, when he closes his eyes in the dark, he still feels it watching. And sometimes, he wonders if it followed him home. Do you believe in shadows that move on their own? What would you have done in Kenji's place? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy real-life horror stories, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another terrifying tale. Until next time, keep the lights on.
You made it to the end, but are you sure you're alone? If you enjoy stories that keep you up at night, make sure to subscribe to the Unspoken Files, because the next story might just be about you. Subscribe to the Unspoken Files now, before it's too late.